Our next guest is the Democratic nominee for State House District 110. John Moffett has his sights set on flipping this district, which has been Republican held for the past 12 years. And John joins us now. Thank you for being here. And this is your first time running for office.
It is. It is. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So what was the catalyst for putting your hat in the ring?
I've always worked in issue advocacy, public affairs, communications, mostly for issues that I care deeply about. And one of the things that I care most about in the world is Charleston and the Low Country. And in the end of 2023, I decided I wanted to give back to the community a little bit more and figure out, ways to do that. I never really considered running for office, but the more and more I looked around at our representation at the state level, I realized that that the people that we were sending to represent us at the state level in the Low Country weren't representative of us, and it didn't align with the way they were voting and representing us did not align with the values of people of the Low Country. And so, I spoke with my wife. I spoke with some people, that work in politics around town, and everybody was pretty encouraging. Yeah. To get in. So, in January or so of this year, we decided to do it, and then we didn't really announce until March or so. But yeah.
So when you say that they aren't representative of the Low Country and our values, what do you mean by that?
Well, specifically, my opponent, Tom Hartnett, was sent up to Columbia 2 years ago to be an independent voice. That's what the voters of the Low Country want. That's what I've learned. That's what I've always assumed and thought. But particularly in this campaign, I've really solidified that view. And in reality, what he's done, unfortunately, is he's gone up and he's been a rubber stamp for the far right of his party, for the Freedom Caucus. He was a yes vote on the fetal heartbeat bill. He's been a yes vote on the open permitless carry bill. Not only is he up there taking those detrimental votes, but while that's happening, he's wasting precious time where he really should be focusing on the issues that matter to every day, to our residents every single day in the Low Country. We have real threats that that we face in order to keep our community the best place to work, live, and raise a family. Yeah. So that's sort of what I mean. It's a misprioritization of time when he's up there. Yeah.
Well, on your website and all the articles I've read about you, I always see common sense policies, common sense politics. So share your platform and what you're campaigning for.
Absolutely. I sort of split my platform into two groups. One is what I was just talking about, the sort of social politics of the whole thing, which is, as I just mentioned, we've seen our representative Tom Hartnett go up there and play politics with our freedoms, particularly the freedoms of women, play politics with our safety, particularly that of our kids, to the point where right now we live in a place where a woman doesn't have autonomy over her own body, can't make her own healthcare decisions, but an 18-year-old can walk down King Street with a gun in his or her hands, and nobody can stop them. I just think that's wrong. I have a 6-week-old daughter, and that's not an environment that I want to raise her in. And so I just think, from a common sense perspective, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. I also think that, from a common sense perspective, we should be focusing on, like I mentioned, the issues that matter to us every single day. So we have what I call a large livability issue in Charleston, and by livability, I encompass everything from the threats we face with climate change and flooding. We see our flooding increasing every single day. The price of housing and finding a home is impossible, particularly for young people. I mean, my wife and I just struggled. Luckily we were able to buy the house that we've been renting for 5 years, but we know so many people like us that have had to move away because they can't afford homes here, can't even afford the cost of living here. And then it's tough for a young person to find a job here. I know I left College of Charleston in 2010, and I was, I would have loved to have stayed here my entire life, but I had to leave for a few years because there was just nothing, for me to do. And that it was just unaffordable for me. And that's something that I think that our representatives at the state level really need to be focusing on. And I think that these state and local races mean so much more than what's going on, say, at the federal level or anything like that for our everyday lives. And I just think it's common sense to focus on the bread and butter issues like that.
Yeah. And so I do want to let everyone know MoffittForHouse.com is where you can go for more information. John, thank you so much for being here. We're days away from the election.
Yeah,
it's almost here.
I'm confident going in. I know that we we've done everything. We are doing everything we can to set ourselves up to win. And I'm just looking forward to Election Day.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
We're back after this.